The most common weight loss advice: live a balanced life. But what happens when you accidentally tip the scale? In this video, I'm going to teach you how to reverse engineer your weight gain in just 4 weeks, no matter how many times you've gained it back. If you want to see what I'm going to talk about, stick around. Hey babes, welcome back. If this is your first time seeing me, my name is Daisha, and I create content that helps you take a more mindful approach to your wellness. If that sounds like something that you may be interested in, make sure you stick around. We would love to have you. Today, we're going to talk about something slightly different, and I think it's important to make note of this because I feel like people overcomplicate weight loss. It really just doesn't have to be that difficult. If you've ever lost weight before, there's a pretty decent chance that you've gained weight back. And if you've ever wondered why or how it just seemed like you've gained this weight overnight, like, bro, where did this weight come from? Like, what happened? What happened was your habits changed. And the key to getting them back on track is to reverse engineer them. And I'm gonna show you how to do that step by step. So as I mentioned, most people don't gain weight overnight. It seems like it, but I can almost promise you, as somebody who's gained weight and lost weight 4+ times in my life, it didn't happen overnight. It happened by small little changes that occurred over a span of time that you hardly even noticed until all of that compounding occurred. And then you looked up and one morning you were 10 pounds heavier and your jeans were fitting a little bit tighter. Think about the weight loss process, right? When you begin a weight loss journey, you're very focused, you're very intentional, and you have a lot more awareness and vigilance as to what you're consuming and what activities you're doing to make sure you're burning calories or that you maintain a calorie deficit. However, when you reach your goal weight, let's say, or maybe your body hits a plateau, or you're just kind of satisfied with where you are, or certain things in life happen, such as it's now Christmas or it's now summertime and you're going out to more parties, or it's more birthdays, or it's more weddings, or whatever the case may be. Certain things that you were normally doing and had down packed and under a microscope are no longer scrutinized as much. You give yourself a little bit more leeway. So more eating out, a little less movement, more snacking, less cooking. So if this is something that you have realized is changing over time, you can fix it by identifying these shifts as they occur and choosing to tackle them systematically. Think of it as a step-by-step framework, like a 4-week reset system. The main thing is, if you don't know what the true cause of something is, you'll have to slowly but surely start eliminating certain things. So think about if you or a family member or a child had an allergy. You would slowly start to take away certain things or only administer one thing at a time until you could identify what was the actual cause of the allergy, right? So you kind of want to take the same approach to your re-engineered weight gain in a sense. So for week 1, you want to do an audit, and more than likely, you're probably consuming more or eating out more or consuming more alcohol or whatever the case may be. Whatever you discover as that one thing surrounding your diet in week 1, you're gonna audit that and you're gonna make an adjustment for that week. So if you went from eating out only once a week and that was kind of like your baseline rule, and now you're noticing you're doing 2 to 3 happy hours a week because it's the summertime, there are parties, there are this, there are that. If you notice that, go back to your original agreement. Got to get rid of some of the FOMO and maybe just decline an event or 2 until you get back on track. Even replacing just 1 to 2 meals that you have out can change the trajectory of your progress. So if week 1 was surrounding your diet and nutrition and, consumption, week 2, we're gonna talk about your output or your movement. In the second week, you might begin to realize, okay, I was walking 7 days a week. I was strength training 3 days a week. I'm now walking 4 days a week, and I'm only hitting the weights maybe 1 to 2 days a week. There definitely has been a difference. I thought I was good, but clearly we've gained weight back, so something needs to be adjusted. Try something as simple as adding in 20 more minutes of walking, whether that's before meals, after meals, first thing in the morning, after work, wherever you can get an additional 20 or so minutes of walking in. That way you can increase your steps and kind of get you back to where you were baseline. Again, we want this to be something that is simple, something that can get you back in the groove to where you were, and it doesn't really feel overwhelming or feel like punishment. So don't try to throw on 2 HIIT workouts, add a strength training day, and promise yourself you're gonna walk 10,000 steps. No, just pick one thing for week 2 that surrounds movement that you know needs to change or increase. So week 3, we're back to nutrition. So not only are you reducing the amount of times that you are going out to eat, you also want to increase the amount of times that you are actually preparing your own meals. So in week 3, we're going to dial this in even more than we did in week 1, and you're going to agree to cook more of your meals at home. If you went from cooking 5 nights a week down to 2 nights a week, you want to increase that by 2. So at least get yourself back up to cooking 4 nights a week for week 3. You want to kind of dial that in and reinstate that habit. Cooking your own meals alone can save you hundreds of calories because you know exactly what's going into the preparation. So we finally made it to week 4. So we have gone through the month and you have made changes each week. And each of these changes each week should have been able to compound, and it's time to reassess and weigh in. So we're all guilty of having the need for instant gratification, right? So we want to know if these changes that we are making some progress because the work doesn't work unless you work it, right? So you've been working for 3 weeks so far. You've been making changes. You've been being intentional. You've been being mindful. So what's happening? Okay. So you're going to check in at the end of the month, right? And mainly, I don't want you to worry so much about the scale. I want you to see how you feel. I want you to notice how your clothes fit. I want you to actually see what progress you've made in being consistent, not so much in losing weight and seeing results, but have you been able to maintain these habit changes to get you back to baseline? And has it been gradual to the point where it's been tolerable, or do you feel completely overwhelmed and you just want to go and get a donut and start over next week? Depending on where you are and how you feel, you can either repeat this process with the same rules and adjustments if you feel like you didn't do that well for the first 4 weeks, or you can layer in another habit in the next 4 weeks if you see fit to enhance your overall results, or just to make sure that these habits are back solidified into your routine again. The main point that I wanted to make here is not to do everything at once. When you think about the time frame that it took you to gain the weight, it could probably have taken you 8, 10, 12 weeks. But just notice each of those weeks, something changed. Something increased, something decreased, or something did not align with the goals that you previously had. And so now you're here and you want it all gone today. And that's not how it's gonna work. So slowly peel back the habits that became your new norm and reinstate the previous ones that got you the body that you had. And then you'll start to get back to where you want to be. Give yourself some grace and understand that this happened over a period of time, and you're gonna have to reverse engineer it over a period of time. And reverse engineering makes weight loss so much more simple and digestible because you're just undoing what changed 1 week at a time. So try this for a month and come back and let me know how it goes. Comment down below, because I think this is a genius way to approach weight loss. It doesn't make it so daunting. It allows you to give yourself grace, and I feel like it eliminates the need for punishment because you don't want to like crack the whip and you got to hurry up and only eat celery and only eat cucumbers, and you got to hurry up and run 3 miles on the treadmill in 1 day, and you need to do 17 miles a week. Like, it's not that pressure. One thing, one habit, or one rule, 1 week at a time, and just stick to it. And then each week, just add a new one and keep the previous ones. And slowly but surely, you can get back to where you were. I hope this really helps you think about weight loss in a more digestible way and help you make it more attainable, especially if you don't have access to a coach. You don't have access to an accountability partner. You don't have access to a trainer. You don't have access to any of these things and you really just don't know where to start. Find 4 habits, 3 to 4 habits that you can week by week reverse engineer that can get you back to your baseline. That way you can get back on track and readjust, recalibrate, and move forward. I hope this helps. And as always, you got this, babes. Bye.